This is day 341 of the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi. If you'd like to sponsor upcoming shir or more of the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi, it'd be very greatly appreciated. Please contact me directly. Today we're doing Siman Reish Mem Beis still, Lam and Hey through Mem Aleph. There are measurements for Hichel Shabbos. He's bar called Achim Mekamo, and we'll explain each one in its place. The Chatzi Shir Asim D'Ais Kol Yisrael Torah. To do half a shir of the malacha, not necessarily half, but less than the full shir of the malacha, is still usher. Ela she'en lo ken chatzi shir. We don't get malchus on half a shir because shir missing, and so Yisrael doesn't get put to death. Maybe in korban chatzi shir, don't bring a korban on half a shir. The korban can be assuming that Torah never less than prohibitions doraisa. But in Hotzah, taking things from domain to domain, there's a difference. In taking something from a private domain to public domain, where there's uprooting and putting down again, uprooting from the original domain, putting down in the new domain. If you did uprooting without putting down, or putting down without uprooting, there's no Torah prohibition in this. It's still awesome Rabban. This is the very first Mishnah, Masech the Shabbos. And in terms of transporting something 4 amos of shus rabim, muchal b'chuli Shabbos, it's clear almost like Shabbos. The pachas me'arba amos mutter talf af midrabanan. Less than 4 amos you're allowed to carry even midrabanan. They didn't forbid it. One, it is appropriate to understand why there's no issue of chatzi shir in the Isser Havotzah. Yesh Loma. There came at the time of the chatzi shir. The reason why chatzi shir is awesome is because it can join with another half and make a full prohibition. That's not relevant in Hotzah. If you move something from a private domain to public domain, true, the uprooting is can join together when you put it down. But if you didn't do an akira, the hanacha can't join anything. The putting it down can't join up with anything preceding it. Saying there is no prohibition of putting of the chatzi shir in terms of putting it down. Since it can't always be mitzaref, so therefore there is no halacha of Isser Chatzi Shir midaraisa. Nevertheless, Rabbanan assume Rabbanan also because the akira can bring you to a chiyuv chatos. If you uproot it, you're going to put it down. This is what the Gemara calls it. However, if you take something 2 amos shus rabim and you stand, there is no chazitz terufe. It can't join together. Once you stood, and so you put the object down and completed the first ma'isa. So since there's no scenario in which in havaras arba amos shus rabim, which you can be chatzi shir can be starif, as opposed to a scenario in chatzi shir of hotzah and achnasa. They now bring in where it can be mitzaref, so therefore they didn't answer at all by transporting from Shus Rabim, and they did answer a chatzi shir gemid rabbanan in the Hotzah Achnasa. The bracket says if they set the base of Perik Dal base Mash Behedi, it seems to say quite clearly in the Tosefta the chatzi shir b'Shabbos also make the mid rabbanan ayin sham. It seems like the chatzi shir is only also Rabbanan by all Hichel Shabbos. But Tzarech Yom Gadol requires great analysis. Tzarech with Lav Dafka. Perhaps it's not specific. No, it doesn't mean it literally. About Pimar Shah, the Reish Simon, Reish Gimel, that he's going to come back to this concept later on. Reish Mem Gimel. One can also say that perhaps the shear is part of the Melechas Machshavos on Shabbos. So therefore, just the part of Melechas Machshavos is to do it with Chashivos, which is the shear. Could be. Lamvav, custom Rama Bergal Tin Tezain. Kol Malacha Shachir Yochel Asoso Solabado. Any Malacha which an individual can do on his own, but also Asos Shnai Meshut was 2 people there in partnership. Bain Shah so Zemik Saso, Zemik Saso, whether one did part and another did the other part. Uben Shah Su Oso Shnei Gacha, or the both of them did it together. Mitchil Oso Gim Ten beginning to end. Harei L'Ptunim, they are exempt. Ein echad mehem yachol la'asos levado. If neither one of them can do it by themselves, actually start until they join together, v'chulei, shneim chayim, and they're both liable. Shir echad shneim, and it's one shir who can make them both of them chayiv. If one of them has the capacity to remove a beam on his own, the second one cannot. And the two of them together took out the beam. The first one who could do it on his own is chayiv. It's liable. The second one is just assisting. And somebody who assists is not liable to anything. And so to anything similar. Also Rambam writes, to him, anybody who does destructive labor on Shabbos is exempt. Ketza, how so? If you wounded a man or an animal in a way which is destructive, or so too if you cloak their garments, this is a fun, or you burn them, or you broke vessels in a way which ruins them, or raise the potter. You're exempt. Also, by Mirabban is prohibited. The Choptur is the Shabbos potter avlosa. Anything which is potter on Shabbos is potter, but still asa. Much is bar. He made it clear to say that if you're doing it in a destructive manner. Because we find that somebody who makes a wound is liable on Shabbos. But there, it's not in a manner of this. It's not a destructive manner. Such as where your intent was to grab them that way. To seize the Shmona Shrotzim. You're grabbing them in some way which causes them to lose blood, which have a wound. When you tear, which is not a destructive, going to koreh meso, somebody who rips clothing because somebody died in his family, or koreh bekas, somebody rips clothing in anger, by ripping, his anger subsides. In those cases, those destructive activities are constructive for that person at that time. So therefore you're liable. Of course, that's when Rabbi Yehuda that Malach Shen Tzikla Gufa, such as Korea al Meso, we're not being Korea al Naslit for Korea al Meso, or the case of Chayvel in order to not get to die, but to capture the animal. That according to Rambam Shapasa, Rabbi Yehuda, the Malach Shen Tzikla Gufa is Chayv. But according to most poskim, like Shimon, that malacha shein tzich l'gufa, doing malacha not for its primary purpose, you're exempt. Also here, you're exempt. First, we're not in shop. Rambam also writes, if you dig a hole, you only need its dirt. I raise them a calcul potter, you are destroying and you're exempt. Since you had in mind to ruin the ground, you're potter. This is also great to his shita. The shita's rova poskim, blavachim potter. According to most poskim, you're potter no matter what. Because malacha we're not doing it for the primary intent. The Gemara muchach the dafka babayser in mekalkel. The digging hole is only ruinous in the house and not in the field. That's not necessarily a hard and fast rule. That's normally the way it is. But since he wrote that his intent was to ruin, so that's you can extrapolate from that. Then automatically, the Magush ain't also Kalka Chayav, which he does a place where you didn't have in mind to ruin. You are a Chayav, according to Rambam. Lamites, Okasav, he also writes, Kol Mekalkalam Nasataki Chayav. This is Mlachot Shtuat, Tzrich L'Gufa. If you ruin something in order to fix it, you're liable. Ketzai, how so? As you saw, sir, Kadei leave no sin come on, you knock down something in order to build in its place. O Shemacha Kadei Tog Some Mama Shemacha. Or you erase something in order to write something in a place where you erase it. O Shechafar Gumar, you dug a hole Kadei leave no Besochol Yisodos in order to put foundations in it. V'chocha Yitzim is anything similar, Chayav, you are liable. Shir Kishir Masakin, the shear is like the same shear for fixing. I can't show. We can hear one marshal head. The same rock Rabbi Yehuda Mechayim Malacha Shein Tzirchul Gufa. Gemara seems to say explicitly. It's only Rabbi Yehuda who says you're liable for Malacha Shein Tzirchul Gufa. Av Rabbi Shimon, I feel with someone else leave those who come up. Because Shimon, if you destroy something in order to build something else in its place, and you chayiv and came attacking idea stila. Unless you're not chayiv unless you fixing something by the destruction itself. Attacking idea stila. Es habinyan Hashem yoser. It's constructive now. It's going to make the second building stronger. Than if there was no building there ever. And an example, because it's good Shemali, because that's you unite trees and you extinguish them to make coals. The Rambam Asi Shabbat, do you place the Rabbi Yehuda? Ram holds like Rabbi Yehuda that the Malacha Shein Tzirchul Gufa is chayav. So therefore, in this case, where you're Mekalkel, Amnas, in order to Amnas the Sakin, you're chayav, right? Nevertheless, Shimon, we have to say something similar. We have no choice because we know that destroying in order to build is one of the 39 malachos. You can't have a greater tikkun in the sira, in the breaking, than there would be if there had not been any building there at all. So I have to say, even in this manner, even going to Shimon, you're chayiv. But I forgot that even though it's like a malach not done for its proper purpose. Kamuvan is obvious. Nevertheless, Mishkan Vadai, it's so sad. Mishkan, they definitely broke things in order to fix them, in order to build them. And therefore you're liable. We explained a bit of the principle of Shabbos and to take it further and become wiser. Mem. It's Yom HaShabbos. A little bit of shifting gears here. It says the Torah blessed and sanctified the day of Shabbos. It's an obligation every Jewish person to it's an obligation to honor this holy day and to have pleasure on it. Moshe Omar Navi, like the prophet says, Yeshaya, Nunches, Karasa Shabbos, One Kol Shabbos, pleasure, Kadosh Hashem, to that which is sanctified by God, honor it. Zel Shana Rambam Perak Lamed. The Rambam says, I brought Varim Shabbos. 4 things said on Shabbos. Shlaming a Torah to a Doraisa, Shlaming a Torah to the Rabbanim. Then before Shema the they're explicitly stated by the prophets. Shabbatorah, the ones who share the Torah are Zachar v'Shamar. Remember and preserve. Sheispash in the Nevi'im. Then the ones which are in the prophets are Kavav Oneg, honor and pleasure. Mishnah says that some poskim hold that honor and pleasure are also rooted in the Torah itself. Continues Arukh HaShulchan. This is the Rambam, I think, still speaking. Ezu Kavod. What's Kavod? Zeh Shamur Chachon Ezechom Say Shem Mitzvah Al Kol Adam Yechotz Panav Yadav Raglav. Says everybody to wash his hands, his face, hands, and legs, bechamin and hot water, bear of Shabbos on Friday. They covered on Shabbos because of the honor of Shabbos. Misata b'tzitzis to wrap yourself in a tzitzis yoshim b'kavod rosh and sit in gravity, miyachel and yearn lakbos b'nei Shabbos. To greet the countenance of Shabbos. Mishiyotzi across the mountain like somebody goes out towards the king. He combines the two different ways. Rabbi Chanina and I forget who the other one is. One of them went out, one of them sat in place. It's an important Reb Tzadok on this. Okay, but the name of the Rambam combines the two of them. Shabbos. The Chachamim, the time Chazal would gather Tamei Erev Shabbos and Misafim and wrap themselves in their finery. When they would say, Bo v'neit say the Krash Shabbos Makazah. That's the other being to go out towards Shabbos, the Queen Akal Shalom. Now we gather in shuls and Batei Medrash. When we say Chamisha Mizmarim, we say 5 Tehillim. Min L'chuna Ranana Ad Achar Hashem Melech Zuamim. That's Tzaddik like this. Pisha Elo as Miros, because these Tilim Hem Alasi Lovo are the eventual future. Shows Yomer Chol Chavero then one will say to his friend, "L'chunu ra'anol Hashem, let us go to praise God." V'az Hashem Molech, and then Hashem will be king. Klamar, meaning she's came because she fulfill the pasuk in Zchari Yudal. By Yom Yeh Hashem Chodesh Mochad, and that day there will be one God, and His name will be one. V'alki Shabbos who remez l'zmanu, and Shabbos is an allusion to that time. Yom Shkul Shabbos, day which is completely Shabbos. V'az no shir Hashem, shir Chodesh. Then we'll sing a new song to Hashem. The Chol Shiros Lashon Keva. All the songs of the past are Lashon Keva, are in feminine tense. B'shir Lasilava, and the song of the eventual future, Lashon Socher, is in masculine gender. Yisabah Midrashos, l'cher mizmorim elu. Then we say these mizmorim, which have to do with the future, because of Lashon Zohar, Shul Hashem Shir Chadash. B'omrim gam mizmor Shir Chadash said mizmor of Kol Hashem Ba'elim, which is Tilim Chavtes. B'shbomru as Ganke Elav Hashvi, because there it hints also at the 7th millennium, after year 6000. Yom Shkul Shabbos, the day which is completely Shabbos. Vaz Hashem Yamabu Yasha. Hashem will after that. Well, it seems at that time Hashem will curtail the flood. V'yeshu Hashem Melchlam will be king forever. Actually, that's according to most Mukhabalim. It's not the Elef Hashvi. That's after the Elef Hashvi. Okay. As we have Hashem blesses, He'll bless His nation with peace. Shabbos Shabbos is a taste of the world of God. Chen omrim oso. That's how we say Mizlo David, which has to do with the world of God. And Shisha Mizmor is the 6th capital of Tilim altogether. Connected Sheish Me'amase. Shavua corresponds to the 6 days of the week. Shekulam Moshkim Ashbasan, who all draw their flow and influence with Shabbos. Ki Makor HaBracha. Shabbos is the source of the bracha, which is also Chadaydi. We say, go out, my beloved, towards the Kala. At the end, we turn to the west. Come in peace to the crown of her husband. Boy Kala, come bride, come bride. We say it standing up. This is like the Chachamim of yesteryear. They would say, Bovin, they'd say the Christ Shabbos Malchus, let us go out and let's go up and go out towards Shabbos the Queen. Charomim Mitzvah Shalom Shabbos, and we say Mitzvah Shalom Shabbos. And that's the primary part called Shabbos. That's what we say on Yom Tov as well. According to Ashkenaz, it's always saying Yom Tov, not according to the Ekes. Kasa brackets. Kasa Kodesh Hashlab in Sidur She Yizar Lomar Mitzvah Shalom Shabbos. Kom Shkia Sachama. Should say Mitzvah Shir before Shkia. Bye. If not, I'm Zikin Shdiva Erev Shabbos Ben Hashmashos. The damaging forces which created Erev Shabbos in twilight. We started to come Azik. They rise from the place of damage. Ayin Sham Duk. Ein Leno Esek Ministoros. Mem Aleph. We covered our Shabbos, an aspect of the honor of Shabbos. Shil Yel Bash Ksus Nakia. Is wear clean garments. Lo Yeh Mabushu Achol Mabush Shabbos. His garment of a weekday should not be his garment of Shabbos. Ein Lo Lachliv. He can't change garments because he's too poor. Mashal Shal Tali. So he extends his talis downwards. Klomar meaning Shemashal Shal B'Kodav Klapi Mat. You extend your garments further down. She said, Arukim, they should look long, like a frock or a bekasha. And this was what the rich people used to do, to put on their robes. They would sit in their houses. They're not required to remove their hems of the garments from the ground because they weren't working. Covered Shabbos, and this is in honor of Shabbos. Takonos Ezra, one of the takonos which Ezra stood, people should wash their clothing biyom hachemishi on Thursday. They cover the Shabbos because the honor of Shabbos. Tinu al Erev Shabbos, they should Erev Shabbos, pointing out Chon Shabbos. They should not wait till Friday in order they should be able to prepare for Shabbos at that time. The Mishnah says, in order, according to this, you have to be careful not to wear the same garment for several Shabbosos in a row, in order not to transgress the Takon of Ezra. I guess we only have one thing to wash. Nowadays, we're not mocking on this because we have machines and things go quickly without effort. Now all Jews change their shirt for Shabbos, and they change other garments, Kova, and also the hat, the hecker cover the Shabbos, in order to give recognition to the honor of Shabbos. Bochim Americans go to the bath to bathe, and they cover Shabbos of Shabbos. Varbei Tovlin Gam Mikvah. Many people go to the mikvah every Shabbos. They taras atzmam the kedusha Shabbos to purify themselves for the kedusha of Shabbos. Kol mashostin covered Shabbos malkasa schalo harbe mod. Anything to do with Shabbos queen is greatly rewarded. There's a great tzaddik Yerushalayim Tzvi Hirsch Michal Shapiro, was great grandfather of my brother-in-law, who was so poor the only thing he could afford to change for Shabbos was his shoelaces. But whatever you can change, you should change.